and not convert it into demographic disaster. For more information, visit www.ignou.ac.in. Thank you. पहाड़ों पर जाना किसे पसंद नहीं। इस तरह के पहाड़ तो आपने घरों, कार्यालयों, उद्योगों से निकलने वाली बेकार की वस्तुएं जैसे इस्तेमाल किया हुआ कागज, कपड़े, पुरानी लकड़ी, धातु, कांच के सामान, सब्जी फलों के छिलके, पुराने मोबाइल, लैपटॉप इत्यादि। कूड़े के ये पहाड़ न केवल शहरों में बल्कि गांव में भी पाए जाते हैं। अपशिष्ट की बढ़ती हुई मात्रा और इसकी विषैली प्रकृति हमारे पर्यावरण और स्वास्थ्य को नुकसान पहुंचाती है। कभी सोचा है इसका निपटान कैसे होता है या क्या होता है इन कूड़े के पहाड़ों का? कैसे हम इस समस्या से छुटकारा पा सकते हैं? इन सभी प्रश्नों का उत्तर देने के लिए इंदिरा गांधी राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विश्वविद्यालय अपशिष्ट प्रबंधन में प्रमाण पत्र कार्यक्रम प्रस्तुत करता है। यदि आप नगर निगम में कार्यरत हैं, सैनिटरी इंस्पेक्टर हैं, अपशिष्ट प्रबंधक हैं या अपशिष्ट से जुड़ी हुई परामर्श सेवाएं, अनुसंधान या विकास कार्य करते हैं, तो ये कार्यक्रम आपके लिए सर्वोत्तम है। कार्यक्रम की न्यूनतम योग्यता है 12वीं उत्तीर्ण और इसे 6 महीने में पूरा किया जा सकता है या अधिक से अधिक आप इसे 2 साल के अंतराल पर भी पूरा कर सकते हैं। कार्यक्रम में शामिल है स्वशिक्षण पाठ्यक्रम सामग्री, ऑडियो वीडियो संसाधन और विभिन्न माध्यमों से शिक्षण की सुविधा। तो फिर देर किस बात की, चलिए समस्या का नहीं समाधान का हिस्सा बने। अपशिष्ट प्रबंधन में प्रमाण पत्र कार्यक्रम में दाखिला लें। हम आपके स्वागत के लिए .in। धन्यवाद।
पत्रकारिता या जनसंचार के क्षेत्र में आपकी रुचि है तो आपके लिए इग्नू लाया है पत्रकारिता एवं न्यूनतम योग्यता की। यदि हम बात करें,
कोई भी छात्र जो स्नातक किया हुआ है किसी भी विषय में, वो हमारे स्नातकोत्तर प्रोग्राम में एडमिशन ले सकता है।
इस कार्यक्रम को आप न्यूनतम 2 वर्ष में कर सकते हैं। यदि आप किन्हीं कारणों से आप 2 वर्ष में नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, तब आपके लिए 4 वर्षों के अंदर ये कार्यक्रम को
मॉडल है वहाँ भी अवेलेबल है और दूसरा ऑनलाइन मॉडल पे भी शुरू किए हैं।
ऑनलाइन माध्यम में एक LMS होता है जिसमें आपको लॉगिन करना होता है और फिर उसी विंडो पर, उसी प्लेटफॉर्म पर आपको सारी जानकारियां दिया जाता है और यह सुविधाजनक है छात्र छात्राओं के लिए। वो दुनिया के किसी भी कोने से बैठकर ऑनलाइन माध्यम से MA पत्रकारिता एवं जनसंचार में कर सकते हैं। 16 कोर्सेज
Namaskar, I am Dr. Satish Gaikwad from Indira Gandhi National Open University. Today we will be discussing formulation of research problem. Research problem is a very important component of any research design. A researcher who want to carry the research must have a very experienced and highly skilled knowledge in the field of the research he or she want to conduct, and the skills of the researcher are also very important component in the research. The experience of the researcher definitely leads to the specific problem formulation or formulation of a research question or research problem. So what is a research problem or research question? A issue or gap in knowledge the research problem. Now, what is the importance of research problem? Research problem guides a researcher towards a specific direction to conduct the research. So, the research problem establishes objectives of a researcher with a focused mindset towards the research to be conducted without wasting the energy, time, and resources. The importance of the research problem also defines the discovery of new knowledge in the research field, and further the innovations in the research through the research problems leads to the serviceable outcomes of a research. Therefore, research problem has a very important role to play in the research which directs the research. So, what are the features of good research problem? Let us examine. When we are talking about a research problem is nothing but idea to find the gap in the knowledge in the existing environment in and around the population. Basically, there are three good features of a research problem. When we talk about the features of the research problem, significance of the research is very important. When we are conducting a research, the research should be significant to the society. Whatever outcome of the research, the outcome of the research should be beneficial to the society, or the outcome of the research should be expanding the knowledge in the society. Originality of the research problem is another good feature. Whenever we are conducting research or a researcher wants to conduct the research, the researcher must extensively do the literature review to identify the gap in the knowledge. Identification of the gap in the knowledge means the idea is original, which is act to be addressed. Feasibility of the research is also a very important aspect to be taken care while formulating a research question or research problem. What is feasibility? Before selecting any topic or before locking any research problem, a researcher must exercise that whether the particular topic of research or area of research the researcher intends to do the research is feasible with the available existing resources, whether the research problem gives the ample scope to search for the literature, whether the research problem gives the ample scope to complete the research within the time frame. These are the aspects a researcher must take care before going for locking a research problem. What are the factors influencing to choose a research problem? There may be various factors. Professional experience. When we are talking about professional experience, as I initially made a remark that whenever we are going to choose a research problem, the experience of the researcher in a particular field plays a very important role. Based on the experience, expertise, and skills of the researcher, the area of the research depends, and the researcher will develop accordingly. For example, who may be basically having the expertise in the field of molecular biology. Biotechnology is very general term, and molecular biology is a subcategory of the knowledge in the biotechnology. A researcher who is expert in the molecular biology, he or she will focus to choose an area or problem having expertise in that field. Therefore, the deciding a research problem. Now, professional literature, that also makes a big impact in selecting a particular research problem. Now, number one, the professional experience or expertise of the researcher, that is leading to the review of literature. As we are saying that research, the researcher is researching. That is nothing but a researcher is trying to find the gaps in the existing knowledge. Therefore, when we are saying a researcher is trying to find the gap in the existing knowledge, it means that there is a established record available regarding the existing knowledge. It may be in the form of the literature. Literature may be available online, literature may be available offline. Literature may be available in the form of research articles, research or any other sources, open resources, etc. A researcher, when he or she decides to address a particular problem, then they extensively do the literature of the review of the literature on that particular topic to subcategorize the research problem or to concise or to limit the research problem. Therefore, professional literature and literature review also influence in locking a particular problem. Influence from the theories. There may be an existing theory which a researcher may want to examine, experiment, and prove that the theory is so and so, and the experimentation done by the researcher are supporting the theory or maybe not supporting the theory. So theories may also derive the research problems, existing theories. Research audience. A researcher may be already having some research audience. For example, a research audience may be the beneficiaries or may be the participants of the research. When I am talking about the participants of the research, maybe the researcher is having a particular study. For example, cancer patients is locking the topic of the researcher. Or a researcher may be trying to address some group like the people who are working in the minefields. Researcher may want to research the issues or health issues of particular population who are working in the minefields. So the health issues of minefields, that is the targeted audience of the researcher. Apart from that, the experts or guides or supervisors may be available with particular researcher. For example, when we talk about PhD research, there a supervisor is allocated. He or she is already having research experience in particular field. They may also help a researcher to lock the research problem. What type of research problems may be studied? There are three types of research problems: pure research or fundamental research. Fundamental research is basically leading to the expansion of the knowledge. It may be a study which is focused or the objective of the study may be the fundamental aspects of the knowledge which may expand the future application of that knowledge. If I want to give an example, I may quote an example of Gregor Mendel's theory of heredity. Gregor Mendel he studied the pattern of expression of genes in hereditary form from offsprings to offsprings. That led to the expansion of the knowledge of hereditary and genetics, which led to several new researchers like genetic engineering. Further, we are talking another form of the research, which is applied research. Applied research may be based on the fundamental research, but to establish the outcomes of the fundamental research in the applied research, experimentation or survey method may be utilized to establish or to nullify the knowledge expanded in the fundamental undertake, which is called as action-based research. In action-based research, the research will lead to the outcome for implementation of some of the provisions. Maybe, for example, there may be a law enacted which may be giving some benefits to the marginalized society, but in that law there may have some flaws. The researcher may be analyzing the phenomena of those flaws on the population. This is basically the observation may be leading to the implementation of some kind of new laws. Such type of studies are called action-based studies. How to formulate a research problem? Now we are coming to the main topic. The topic, as I said, it is formulation of research problem. The most important criteria for a researcher to go ahead to conduct a research is important to identify a research problem. Now, when we are talking about the formulation of the research problem, the researcher has to define statement of the problem. In defining a statement of the problem, the researcher has to restrict the scope of the study to the specific objective and workable questions for women empowerment. But when we are talking about specific study and workable question, when we see this is not very specific and it is difficult for the conduct of the research. It is not in workable form. It is very broad idea. Women empowerment, when we need to complete a research in a time-bound manner, when we are talking about women, this world is having large population of women. So it makes very difficult and the topic is not specific. What is leading to the women empowerment and what research, the statement is not defined. Therefore, the statement has to be defined. For example, women empowerment. I may say that the effect of empowerment in the region of Mumbai city, and the study may also include age group of the women. So this is the specific objective of that research, the definition of the research, where the problem is workable in nature. Further, the research problem must be operationalized. The operationalization of the variables in the research problem is also an important component. We have to operationalize the variables. What are the variables? For example, if I give an example, effect of introduction of ICT based education leading to the improvisation of knowledge of students. Here, outcome of the researcher or learner is the another variable. So here we have to operationalize the variables. Variables, how to operationalize. For example, if I give another example, we may say that dogs are smartness of the dog or cat is a variable. Here, operationalization of variables means an abstract variable has to be converted into measurable variable. Smartness, a smartness of dog or cat is an abstract variable. It cannot be measured, but we have to design and develop the methods to measure something to eat to the cat and dog, and then he or she may be observing the behavior of the dog and cat, and he or she may be recording it. So that observational behavior, smart. I can give another example that height, weight, these things can be measured in centimeters. However, when I am saying a variable, for example, health, health is a variable which cannot be measured. But when we are studying the health of a particular population, the health has to be, the abstract variable has to be converted into measurable variable by taking some of the parameters in survey method form or in experimental form. When we are saying survey method, we can take the interviews, we can formulate a questionnaire where various parameters are survey tools where the inputs from the particular population where we are conducting our study may be taken. Apart from that, we may also set the experimental design. When we are saying well-being, we may be taking the parameters like we may be measuring BP, or we may be taking the blood sample, and we may be subjecting it to the examination that whether the particular patient is having diabetes or not. All such parameters. When we are saying health, for health we may measure such parameter, whether BP is normal, whether BP is abnormal. If BP is normal, we may say the patient is healthy. If BP is abnormal, then we may say that patient is having some problem. Means we are designing a tool to measure the abstract variable and convert it into measurable variable. Apart from this, the evaluation of the problem is also a very important part in research. We must take care that whether the problem we have designed is able to be researchable, whether the problem we have designed is original or not. Authenticity of the problem, when I said that we are trying to find the gap in the knowledge, the gap in the knowledge must be original, and it should be significant to the society. Apart from that, the research should be feasible, where the time constraint should not be there. The research should be having all the administrative approvals, or research should not be ethically having any conflict. Therefore, research should be feasible. With this briefing, today I will conclude a short discussion on the formulation of the research problem. When the time permits, we may have more discussion on such issues. Thank you.